Today we are making delight. Delight. Okay. Anyways. Oh, hey there. If you don't make a mess, you're doing it wrong. I'm obsessed. Incredible. I know. I love you too. This is like literally the best pie I've ever made in my life. It is a Dutch caramel apple pie. I find lattice pies to be like kind of annoying to make. Pie crust on the bottom of a pie, perfect. Pie crust on the top of the pie, like whatever. You already get it on the bottom, like So instead what we do is we do pie crust on the bottom of the pie, then we do this amazing apple filling, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then on the top of the pie, we do the most delectable brown sugar streusel. So it's literally just a thick layer of streusel on the top of this pie. It's unbelievable. If that's not enough, this is a caramel apple pie, meaning in the filling of the apple portion, we're mixing in caramel sauce. We're also putting caramel sauce on the top of the pie. I mean, like truly, Miss Tilly, this is a lot. Should we just get her a chair for this? Yeah, let's just get her a chair. What were we talking about? Caramel. We are going to make a homemade all butter pie crust, so that uses flour, butter, and sugar. For the actual inside of the pie, we're gonna use apples, a mixture of Honeycrisp and Granny Smith, some brown sugar, a bunch of spices, a little bit of flour, some vanilla extract, and then caramel.
The mic is getting all muffled.
Okay, so here's the deal. You need to go with your girlfriend, okay? I love you, but you need to go. Anyways, keep things just a little bit acidic and not too cloyingly sweet. We're gonna use a little apple cider vinegar. You can also use lemon, whatever you have on hand. So let's get started with this homemade all butter pie crust. I will not fault you if you choose to buy pie crust from the store, but if you wanna make it homemade, this is going to take us a minute from start to finish. It's amazing. 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we are going to add in 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. We're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I just like to pulse that to combine it all together. And then we are going to add in 1 stick of butter, and you can see my butter is cold and I just cut it into tiny little cubes. Pulse that until the mixture resembles wet sand. Excuse me. Okay, that looks perfect. We have this sort of like wet sand thing going on here, but you can see that we still have these little peas of butter. That is good. We want still some separation of the butter from the other ingredients. It doesn't need to be fully combined. And then I don't have vodka on me, so I'm just gonna make a little bit of ice water. Water is great to use as your binding agent in a all butter pie crust. I mean, really in any pie crust. But if you really want to get fancy, vodka is my preferred binder for pie crust. It evaporates more than water, which means that your final pie crust is going to be even more flaky than you could get with water. 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. Okay, so put that in, pulse while you're putting it in. Just keep pulsing this until it comes together. Nice, and then it's gonna ring itself around the blade like that. And then it's done. Homemade all butter pie crust. So I'm going to wrap this in some saran wrap. I like to form it into a disc, and then this will go into the fridge. I don't like to roll out my pie crust on my work surface. I like to put something between my work surface. I'm gonna dust the work surface with the plastic wrap on it, then I'm going to dust the pie crust, and then we're gonna roll this baby out. I might need more of this, so I'll leave it here. I find that, I find that it just helps to get the pie crust going when it's really nice and thick. And then from there, you can start actually rolling it out into a circle. That's probably like 2 inches bigger than whatever pie pan is. If as you're rolling it out, you find that your pie crust starts to break apart, just take your fingers and sort of mush that together. That looks pretty good to me. Because we rolled this out on this piece of plastic wrap, we are now able to take this beautiful pie crust. Look at that, amazing. Okay, gently fold the pie dough into the cracks and crevices. Now I can just gently pull this off. Okay, so trim the overhang so everything is about even, and I want to leave a little bit of a lip that's probably like, I don't know, 1 to 2 centimeters from the edge. That looks good to me. So I'm just taking my fingers and rolling it. And something I noticed is like right here, my pie crust is looking a little thin. So I'm gonna take a little extra bit of pie dough, sort of Play-Doh that all together, and then roll this and sort of mold it into a crust. Then you're gonna go around and just pinch the dough like this. And then once you pinch that dough, you're gonna take 2 fingers and you're going to go like this. So you're gonna go like this, like this, like this. She's so cute. Look at her go. I'm gonna take this baby, I'm gonna pop it into the freezer while we make the filling for our pie. Okay, time to make our filling. I find this combination of doing a few red and a few green to be just perfect because you get the crispness of the Granny Smith and you get a little bit of the sweetness from the red apples. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting around the core of the apple. You're gonna cut those apples into thin slices and you're gonna cut them in half. You're going to end up with all these little thin slices of apples just like this. Love, love, love doing my apples this way. It just makes such a difference in that final cross section of pie. So the main ingredient in this filling is a homemade caramel sauce. So I've already done a video on this caramel recipe. I'm gonna put it right here-ish to show you how to make this absolutely amazing 3-ingredient homemade caramel. 1 batch of this caramel sauce is perfect for this pie. You are going to put all except for about 1/4 cup of that caramel sauce into your filling. And then to that, we are going to add 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, as well as 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and then 1/2 teaspoon each of ginger and nutmeg, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a little bit of vanilla extract, however much your heart desires, and then 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there. Mix this all together. I'm gonna use my hands, that's what I wanna do. Because we really want this to get nice and combined, and we don't want to have any like thick pockets of apples without that nice filling in there. Oh my God, it smells so good. You can smell the warmth of that caramel. Oh my God, amazing. Now we're getting to a 4th component of this pie, and I know that's a lot of things to do for 1 pie. So I wanna take a minute to talk about a few things you can do to make this pie easier. 1, you do not need to make homemade caramel. You can buy caramel sauce at the store and use that in your pie filling. 2, you do not need to make a homemade pie crust. You can buy a pie crust at the store and use that. In fact, in the original recipe for this on the blog, we use a store-bought pie crust. So do whatever you gotta do to make this easier on yourself, or go all out. Do everything homemade. It's really whatever makes the most sense for you. We have 1 cup of light brown sugar, 1/2 cup of melted butter. Then we have 1 1/4 cups of flour. And then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and like 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna stir this and it's gonna come together in a jiff. So you can see that it's a thick mixture. It looks a little bit sandy, but it has the ability to clump together, and that is exactly what we want. So now it is time to put this glorious pie all together. I'm gonna take that pie crust out of the freezer. Amazing. Oh, okay, you know what we need to do? I want to brush the top of this with some heavy cream. The purpose is basically to give a little bit of a gloss to your pie crust. If you don't want to do this, or you're using a store-bought pie crust, then don't do it. Whatever floats your boat around here, that's how we roll. So because we chopped those apples so thinly, I want you to take about half of that filling, and then I really want you to push it in. Don't be afraid to really get in there. You want to make it so there aren't a lot of open holes or like crevices. These apples are going to start to break down as they bake, so it's okay if your apples are a little bit mounded over the top of your pie. So now we're gonna take this streusel that we just created, and what I like to do is I like to squeeze it in my hands and then really put it over the pie so that you keep some of those like nice crumbly pieces. I'm just gonna push a little bit of the filling in wherever it's starting to fall off because we don't want it to drip too much out. And then you can really like sort of pat it nice and gently. Shh, go to sleep. Okay. So this baby is going to go into a preheated 375-degree oven for 50 minutes. If you find as it's baking that the top starts to get really brown, just put tinfoil on top, and that'll make it so the filling of your pie continues to cook, but you don't over brown the top or the sides of your pie. Okay, we could eat her, but we want to be a little bit extra. So we're gonna top her with a little bit of caramel. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna use a very sharp serrated knife to cut through. It's all about the sawing motion, slow and steady. Okay, ready? Oh my God, 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 oh my God. Oh my God. Cheers, happy early Thanksgiving. This might be the best thing of this season. This is insane. The caramel makes for the most delectable, rich, but not overpowering filling. The mixture of apples is perfect. And then the Dutch apple crumble on top is such a nice bite with everything. The cinnamon really shines through. This is why I do what I do. Great job to Sophie on this pie. Yay, Sophie! Sophie made this pie recipe, so you can see it on my face. I'm so happy about this pie right now. We're gonna go all eat this pie. I hope you guys enjoy. Full recipe for this baby is down below. And if you like this episode and you wanna see more episodes like this, like, comment, subscribe. I would love it. It would help me so much. Happy pie making, you guys. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week. Today we are making bourbon chocolate pecan pie bars. 2 tablespoons of bourbon. Here we go. A little bourbon for the chef. You guys, this is so good. Okay, I have to stop talking about these bars. No, I love you. I want to keep talking about you. I know. I love you too.